On the 10th day of this month, Dr. Kizza Besigye, who is confined at Luzira Prison, started a hunger strike accusing government of illegally detaining him after the Supreme Court quashed the jurisdiction of the military court that tried him. Since then, Besigye has not eaten anything, only drinking water, until today he ended his protest after appearing before a civilian court to answer treason charges.
Dr. Besigye today has called off a hunger strike now that he has been arraigned formally before this court, because all along he was protesting illegal detention, being on remand without a valid or lawful remand order of court, remand warrant.
For several days, the public has wondered how Dr. Besigye has survived without food. So, we sought the opinion of a medical mind on how many days one can live without feeding.
Individuals can live up to 40 days without any food, and usually after 40 days, the body goes into a state called maximal ketosis, where they acutely degrade and almost result into death. But of course, even in that period of time, there are maximal consequences that can happen even before the 40-day fast. Now, that is for purely religious purposes and what's been documented. Of course, in some literature, they've documented people who have stayed buried in gravel for various reasons for even longer, yeah? But what's been medically documented is up to 40 days.
They say during digestion, some food is stored in the body, which is later turned into glucose to support the body movement.
Significant amount of fat reserve, they have a better chance of a more prolonged duration on how far they can stay without food. Now, if someone is frail and they are old, let's say, or they don't have fat, then that is significantly going to determine how much they can actually stay, because the body is purely going to run on the fat reserves.
During starvation, children get malnourished, while the bodies of adults become weakened, coupled with brain weakness, resulting into forgetfulness, loss of mobility, and ability to function.
If the acute phase is not fully addressed, something else happens, which is even far more dangerous, because now the body has depleted the fat reserves. We no longer can produce ketones, yeah? So now the body has to go to the muscle. The body has to eat itself to produce energy, yeah? And during this time, the greatest fear we have is for the gastrointestinal system. The lining starts wearing off, and these patients can get wounds, peptic ulcers. And then also these peptic ulcers can bleed acutely.
As is undergoing starvation, one is fatigue. Fatigue, they become so tired very fast. Then the second one that we will discover that someone has undergone starvation is loss of energy. See, they cannot even sustain walking. They will be standing, they will be sitting in most of the cases, or having bed rests. So there is loss of energy. Then the third is the skin motorization, where the skin motors are away.
It is said that as the days go by, bone diseases start to manifest, while somebody parts like the heart, liver, and kidneys start malfunctioning.
Our hearts weigh around 300 grams, but they could be turned to levels of up to 150 grams. So then that leads to heart failure.
A person in this situation is susceptible to diseases including tuberculosis, ulcers, diabetes, liver and heart diseases, all the trouble being caused by starving.
When someone undergoes starvation, definitely the immunity system goes down. So they have low immunity to resist diseases. So you'll find that some diseases, especially cough, flus, infectious diseases of the lungs, will set in.
Studies have shown that a person could live more than 2 months without eating as long as he drinks water. But if he doesn't get it all, it is easy to die between 3 or 5 days. Becca Senyonga Muninde, NTV Weekend Edition.